about what's happening. So I'll introduce Jennifer, talk about what's happened with the schedule, and then we'll go into the interview with Jennifer. So welcome, Jennifer. I had your bio in front of me seconds ago. And yeah, Jennifer is a channel and visionary and founder of the Light Priestess Temple. And welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and you'll have a chance to tell everybody a lot more about yourself. But let me first just, oh, you need your mic. Julio, can you unmute Jennifer? There you are. Hello.
Hello.
So first, I want to apologize to you. We didn't get you. You reached out for the link for this event an hour before you were supposed to be on, and an hour or two before you're supposed to be on, and I missed. And I missed your email, and you texted me, and my phone was off. And I didn't confirm hours before to make sure that you had everything you needed, and that's my job. And to everyone, I want to apologize that things are not when they were supposed to be. And we don't get to have a discussion right after that wonderful interview from Donald. We'll do it after we talk, after our great conversation with Jennifer. So I apologize. I apologize for the mix-up.
Oh, no
and,
worries.
and all of its impacts. And I'm delighted to be with you now. So Jennifer, why don't you dive in and tell everybody here more about your work and also how you not stumbled on it, came to it.
Thank you so much, Alice. I'm so blessed to be here, and I am going through, I'm doing clearing, so my raspiness is just part of it right now. So, but I'm devoted to this work, so it's like, we just show up, don't we? I was a clothing designer. I built a clothing brand in Los Angeles. I went to fashion school in New York. It was my dream. And I built that for 15 years, and I built it into a seven-figure business. I started with $100, and I didn't know anything about business, but I just went for it, and I made so many mistakes. But I ended up building a global brand. And then I was standing in my office in 2011, going into 2012, which was that big year of, Piscean age ending, going in the Aquarian age. And I heard this
No
voice.
idea.
Yeah, it was like, and it was towards fall. I was getting towards that 12, December 21st, like everyone went to Peru or to Egypt.
Oh, that I remember
Like
that.
that was like the big shit. Well, yeah, so I'm standing in my office in LA, like maybe a month or two before that moment. And I hear this voice come over my shoulder, and I've worked on my intuition for decades, and that was not my voice. And it said, enjoy this. This is your last year doing this. And it was just like, wait, who's in the room with me? Because
Yeah.
that was not me. And so it was true. And in a year, I was burnt out. Yes, I built a seven-figure business, but it took everything out of me.
Mm,
And I didn't love it. I wasn't even kind always to my staff because I was just so empty inside. I don't know if you've ever felt
mm,
that way, where you just kind of lash out because you're just dry like a well. And I just been doing and doing, working 6, 7 days a week for too long. And I always had I've been wanting it, but what had been percolating up in me is in my soul gifts, is in doing something higher consciousness, not just making clothes like it goes into a landfill someday, is what about like I wanted to empower girls, so I started working at night. I'd go to a coffee house or something, and I'd start doing empowering blogs of things that I wish I had known. I wish I knew thoughts were things at 12. I had such a sucky
mm,
teenage years. I had really bad skin. I was totally harassed and made fun of, and I would achieve. I became a good tennis player. I did art. I went to school, like one of the best schools in the country, just I could achieve and get through it, and not, not keep the lights off in the bathroom because I just didn't want to look at myself. Because, when you're a young girl, it's what you look like is kind of a big deal in this country. And so that, is something that I hadn't been able to deal with. And so as I'm standing in my office in California, and that voice comes in, and a year later, I am literally unwinding my incredible, very successful business. And what I thought would be like a 2 year break, I was kind of excited, became a 6 year of being unwound and being rewound, almost like a walk-in, where I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't hide anywhere. I couldn't, I love to hide and stay busy, so I didn't have to deal with myself. I don't know if any of you can relate, like doers. You can you can do, and then you're not really going deep into the layers of why are you, kind of steamrolling through, and then it would only last for so long, and then the emotions would come up. And so 6 years in, I was in Bali and I was living there for a little bit. And it started like I work with my intuition and I started opening up and communicating with the channels and with the beings that were talking to me. And then it became so like my friends, like Mary Magdalene would sit in front of me or Yeshua, or other beings of light that got referred to me because I was doing some work gritting the lands and gritting the waterfalls. I started in Northern California. My first job for Spirit was to sit on the Russian Gulch waterfall near Mendocino, California. And I'd go there. They said, go every other day for 30 days, bring your mala beads and grit it. And so I'd bring roses. There were wild roses all along the roads there, and I would grit it. And
What do
Sunday,
you mean you grid it?
you
You tap
grid
it?
spaces. So roses have a protection energy. And so I'd grid it with roses. I'd grid the whole, like the waterfall comes down and makes a little pool. And then I kind of walk over the bridge. And there was tourists there, hikers, but sometimes it would be empty. And so I started doing that. And some days I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. I committed and I did it. And near the last day of my 15 days, I channel through my pineal, which means I see just images like half or a portion. Like if you channel through your pineal, you see your pituitary over here, this gland, you have like videos. It's like full movies. I don't get that. I get like an image. So I saw a rectangle in front of me, and a rectangle meant a tunic and an ascended master. And so it was Saint Germain, who I don't work with, and he was kind of like knighting me, and he's like, I didn't know you, you came on high referral, but you did your job and now you get your gift. And I don't really know what the gift was, but it seemed really great, and I was so honored. And it's like you don't get your gifts, like activating your highest destiny, like what our topic is today, is you don't get your gifts until you've shown up. And that is how this universe works. And so I got a gift, and then what happened is one of the gifts was my name kind of went out over the rainbow bridge of energy, and other souls started coming in and needing to cross over, or things happened, and I started helping others to move into their next level. They got trapped in the energies, some indigenous folks. I was still in Northern California at a different waterfall, and the White Brotherhood came in, who are these really tall, beautiful, masculine beings, and who I haven't really worked with much since, but it just started. And from there, it became little small circles that I would gather women together, and in total terror and fear, actually, when I could run a business and tell anyone what to do. When you put yourself out there, it's very different. And
Hmm.
so I really had to face my own samskaras of when it wasn't safe to gather, and when we were killed, and when we were persecuted and oppressed. And that didn't get triggered when I ran my clothing business, because I could easily, happily hide as the clothing designer and put the models out in front. And that was super great. I love that. And Spirit wouldn't let me stay there. So that started my journey.
So I'm gonna share something about me that one part of your share made me think of, and then I have another question for you um, about your work in general before we get into this question specific to this interview. So um, you were saying, does anybody relate to being a doer and not facing yourself? So not all for me, it's not always. And my mother died this summer, and within a few weeks, I dove into causing this series. And so when people will ask me, how are you? Are you healing? Are you grieving? I don't know the answer. I will say, I think so, but I've been very busy. And
Interesting.
yeah, and
Thank
you
you
know,
for
even
sharing.
being busy in this case for my calling, you know, in service of my calling, but still getting into that busy mindset, it's still a form of hiding. And now I'm here with people, and it's a different situation.
One of my teachers shares that she has, I think, 5 New York Times bestsellers. And she's like, guess why I have 5 New York Times bestsellers? Is because I was single and I was lonely. And guess what I did? I medicated through doing and writing books. And only now can she see that. She didn't see it because it was such an easy instant gratification, which I want to talk about instant gratification
Yeah,
and
because I
blocking.
would like to share some philosophy of addiction.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's
because
that's
like,
our is that the
well,
American culture or what? Addiction.
yeah. So workaholism, right? Workaholism, it's a productive addiction. Codependency is a productive addiction, which actually has me be curious. You know, what's productive about alcoholism? What's productive about heroin? Like ever, you know, addiction, we don't become addicted to things that have no benefit.
Well, you're numbing out when you and it don't have to feel, and you can feel the God energy when you do an outside substance, and you are getting a sample of what God feels like. And unfortunately, you think it's the drug when really it's the feeling. And it's like, let's dig deeper and find out how you can feel that without needing the outside substance. But people don't quite figure that part out.
Right, well,
And
because usually it takes a little more work, and it's, you know, a little more discomfort to get to the
yeah,
real, to
and
get to
nobody wants to be in discomfort. But you know what? That is where your growth is. You have to be in the pain. You get your light increases. Like if you're 60 volts and you want to go to 1,000 volts, how do you do it? You need to stay in the discomfort because if you can stay in the pain 1 second, 2 seconds, like when it's burning, when you're like, I could just reach for that glass of wine, or I could just turn on my phone and just go scrolling and you can stay in that discomfort. Your light goes up 61, 62, 63, 64. You start getting the gifts because you are, it's universal law. You get the gifts when you can stay in the discomfort. But how many of us don't want to be in the discomfort?
God, this is so much the coaching I need right now. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. But it's this it's our society. It's so much is ingrained that it's okay, to medicate. And then you don't have to feel. So
So my next question, and I think you've kind of started to demonstrate it, but what is the service you like? We heard about how you got messages and you were guided. What is the service you provide for your clients? What do you said you've been gathering circles? What, yeah,
so it
what is your
started very, very
business now that
innocently.
you're not making clothing?
Yes, so it started so innocently, gathering in circles. I am the founder of Light Priestess Temple. We're a divine feminine global community offering trainings, courses, and um, and leadership. And the divine feminine global community that I have founded, women are unlocking their greatness, that they are finding a light within themselves that they haven't embodied before, and they own their voice and stand in their truth. And I'm calling for leaders who are wanting to live their highest destiny and share their soul gifts and impact the world in a bigger way and create the new earth. And who do you know that's ready? Because that is what we are asking for. I started by gathering priestess circles and the sacred rites and the rituals and the ceremonies. And what I've been called to do is the priestesses to leave the temple and to lead humanity. And so I'm calling on, I feel everyone is a master, and you are a master in just different ways. And so I am calling the leaders, the light leaders of this new golden age. We just physically entered the Aquarian age with Pluto going into Aquarius only weeks ago. And so we are literally in the Aquarian alignment for this new age. We are in the Aquarian age, but there's a buffer period of the Piscean and Aquarian age, and everything is speeding up. The solar flares, the Schumann resonance, everything is ratcheting up to ask you to step into who you are truly supposed to be. Who, like many of us, have this soul calling, or we have this vision of, I see myself in that house, in that other neighborhood, or in this business. I see, 4 different offices with me. And why are you given this vision? Because it's your timeline. It's 20 challenges ahead of you. And are you ready to be yes in your challenge? So the way you move up into your highest destiny, the pink people don't understand, is when you're in a test or a challenge, like you're in traffic and you get cut off, or your boyfriend just cuts you down for the 20th time, and you just, what are you going to do? You're going to react. That's your free will. So what the universal law is the law of affinity, where like attracts like, and two things that are similar become one, and two things that aren't depolarize.
Agree.
Is that you, in these challenges you have every day, standing in the market, standing, on a queue, on a phone, on a bank line, where you stand for like 10 minutes trying to get the customer service rep. And it's your reaction. Are you going to choose reactive or proactive? Be in cause or be in effect? Be creator or be victim? Or be light or be dark? Every challenge you get is your opportunity to move higher towards that timeline, that vision you saw, or to move deeper into chaos and negativity. You can see your movie changing. I just went through a 16-month underworld soul journey in my life where I was like spiraling down, where the players in my day, old relationships, like came back that were trying to manipulate me again, like out of the blue called me. And why? Because I was in that frequency, and I kept just spiraling down until I hit the bottom like about 10,000 times. And so by rising and in these challenges, I just learned these ancient wisdoms from a teacher, is your tests and your challenges are the only doorway to moving up or down. So when you get pissed off at that guy cutting you off at the freeway, maybe do a different thing. Pause, go, what a pleasure. It's,
Mm.
everything comes from source creator. I do believe there's a one infinity of a God and energy. And so if everything comes from source and everything comes from the creator, then this is great. I just got cut off. I'm going to give that guy room, and I'm going to, you could still be seething inside, but you're just going to start to connect to the light, and you're going to be proactive. You're going to be in cause. You're going to be in the light, and you connect more to the light, and you'll start noticing. You keep doing this, you start noticing your movie starts to get better. You can't change the people in your movie. Can't, I wish he was better. I wish he was nicer. I wish he called me more. I wish it was a deeper connection. I wish my boss saw who I truly was. You can't change them. But you can ask for a better movie and go to a new timeline, because every decision you make has 12 timelines you're choosing. So you can choose from the best to the worst, and everything in between. So it's like by your reaction is what you're telling the universe you want. And so that is what I've been learning, and that is what I've been practicing. And it's literally you're in effect, you're in cause, not effect. You're in cause in everything you do. And then you become that energy for others as well. Not only you activating your highest destiny and going to what you truly want, but you're also that frequency of the planet. So others are given the permission, because you are, if you're listening to this, you're a light leader, you're a code holder, you're a change maker, you're a unicorn, you're a star seed, you are this new level of human being on this planet. And you are needed. You're needed. You have a long line of people waiting to hear from you, to be healed by you, to be activated by you, and to be served by you. And so one of my teachers says is that you are here because you're in the window of the calling on your life, and that
Mm.
you are here to show up and shine and serve humanity. And that these long line of people that are waiting for you is because you deliver on this sacred soul legacy as a change maker, as a light leader, and as a code holder. And the number one thing is to make sure you put yourself first, because if you're an empathic healer, do you give to other people all the time? Like more than, like, it's like, oh, how can I help you? And then are you just completely empty by the end of your day because you all you do is give? Because you're giving from a place where you still need to fill up. And so I invite you to put yourself first, and to put yourself at the front of the line, because self-care and self-love is the only way that, as an empathic healer and as a seer and as a code holder and as a change maker, that you can be here and to serve humanity and just share your soul gifts is by making sure you put yourself first. So self-care and your reactions are the two things that I feel, besides your limiting beliefs and competing beliefs, that's a whole other thing. Those are two things that can hold you back as well. But if you can put yourself first, which maybe feels awkward or uncomfortable or discomforting, and and watch and just be witness to your reactions and try to just pause,
Choice.
pleasure, and go, yeah, and just connect to the light and be in cause.
So you said something very early in this segment that I had a question about. So you said something like your destiny is 20 steps ahead of what you can currently see. So how do we like, well, I guess the first question is it inevitable? Right? Like we have all these choices, right? We have these choice points, somebody coming up in traffic, somebody doesn't accept me, blah, blah, blah. Or, and we make a choice and the path gets smoother. Or, I have a choice. Do I caretake for everybody around me all day? Or do I make sure I've had enough water? Right. So these are choices we make in the moment. Are we inevitably going to our destiny 20 steps along the way and it could be rocky or smooth? Or do these individual choices make us more or less available for what's
Great,
planned for us?
great questions. Wow, great reflection and feedback. Number one is whatever you desire is meant that you are to receive it at some point. Don't question it. If you have a vision or you have a feeling or you have a knowing, it's because it's written in your cells. Your contract and your soul contract is written in your cells before you were born. And so if you want to go to India, you know you have to go to India. You're so called to this one temple. It's because you have codes waiting for you there. You were at that temple in a previous life, or you were a teacher or an initiate. There's a reason you need those codes for your life now to share with the planet, I would imagine. Like I am called to Egypt, and so we just went to Egypt. Get my computer plugged in. We just went to Egypt last year at 11/11 because it's a soul calling. And so there's also prevailing belief in manifestation in this country and this planet that you have to suffer to be able to manifest. And that's wrong. So if you believe you have to suffer and you want to be successful and you want to manifest, but I need to suffer a little. I'm a starving artist. I need to suffer a little and then I can be successful. You will be successful after you've suffered.
Hmm.
So you can have that path.
Definitely.
Or
Yep.
you can be like, I am going to manifest from joy and bliss and give my gifts to humanity. And you keep saying that to yourself. And affirmations are conscious, and your conscious is 0.6% of your mind. The subconscious is 99.4% of your mind. So affirmations take a little bit more to like get them in your blood and get them in your field. But the number one way to manifest is through your magnetic, is your divine feminine, is your masculine. Your divine masculine is your pineal, and then that's your electrical pulse of your thought. And then your heart is your magnetic, which is your feeling. And so, oh, yes, I want to go to India. I know I need to go to India. I really see it. I really see it. And they come together and it makes your reality. It feeds this plasma around you. There's a book that's free online by Wallace Wattles from the 20s called like I Can Be a Millionaire. Everything was like millionaire back then, but it's all about how you can.
Different then.
Yeah, it's all like millionaire, like even Think and Grow Rich, it's which is my first book I ever read at 25 that like exploded my mind that you can believe and you can think what you want to have happen and you can make it happen. You don't have to be born into it or have the right family. And so it's Wallace Wattles, and it's how you can activate the plasma between me and you, Alice. There's plasma, there's space, and this is all intelligent, free, open space that I can imprint with what I want to have happen. And so with your divine masculine, divine feminine, electromagnetic thought form. I know Joe Dispenza talks a lot about it. And then you send it out and it becomes your reality and you're activating this plasma. So it's about how, like, there's no shortage of oil. I remember oil was a big shortage when I was learning this around the planet. There's no more oil. And then they found this incredible deposit off of Brazil. And it's because we all wanted more oil as a planet. And guess what? They found it. And it's because there's never a shortage. There's never scarcity. So it's like you can activate whatever you want. That vision that's 20 steps ahead is that 20 challenges, those 20 reactions that spirit is going to make you walk through. Those guy cutting you off, or that your daughter just for the millionth time complains and you don't know how to deal with her, is like, pause and what a pleasure. It's all going to
And
work
then,
out.
and then go back to the vision.
Yeah, because your vision wants you. What you want wants you. So if it's showing up to you, like I years ago saw myself, and I am zero wanting to be a public speaker. Like clothing design in behind the scenes, happy place. On a stage talking to people, not happy place. Like where I'd rather, like, get my teeth extracted like out of my mouth. And I
Yes.
don't like dentists at all. So but I've had to learn and make peace with it, because you can't share your message unless people can see you and hear you and be visible. Folks, you got to be visible. We need to see you. We need your message. We need your medicine. And so it's like, how do you get in front of people? How can you share your message more? And so I had to start to do that. So my vision was, I saw myself, the back view, with one of those like really cool headsets, that come around, and there was a
Mhm.
huge audience, and kind of like stadium level, like just
Mm.
gigantic. And I was like, how is this girl here going to become that? But that vision was so real. Like I remember Michael Jackson when he was little and they're riding in the car and his brothers were laughing and he's like, they drove by a big stadium. He's like, we're gonna play there. And they're like, oh yeah, you're such a little kid. Like, what do you
Yeah.
know? And because they were just kind of just starting and they were popular, but it wasn't like they were doing stadiums. But he saw it. He saw that they were going to be in stadiums and we're the Jackson Five and Michael Jackson in stadiums. That was his destiny. And he went through all his challenges, whatever they were, to get there. And
Mhm.
so it's
And
like I
and
saw this
it
vision.
challenges after.
I'm sorry.
And in his case, he continued to have a lot of challenges after.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because it went into, I think, where you can't handle it all and you have to have a really, really solid foundation. And he was abused. And I don't think he ever really got help for that, but that's a whole nother story. But it's like you have to take care of your own space. Like what I just went through for 16 months, I literally stepped back from everything. And I had to take care of me. I never thought I would be here. It's a gift that I'm here and talking to you, because I never thought I'd get out of my place. I couldn't find my way out. I didn't even know if I wanted to be here anymore. I had to face stuff from past lives and this life. So, whatever your challenges are, we all are going through it, because you can't go into the new age with your old spiritual baggage. We all come in with spiritual baggage, and these tests and challenges, your family members, your soulmate, your children, they're all been what's it called, drafted into your life to absolutely explode and ignite your spiritual baggage. Like there's no like a little bit. They are there just to ignite and to trigger the things you're here to work on.
Mm.
And so if you know that, you can kind of laugh it off more and react in
And
this
embrace
higher
it.
way.
Yeah. And embrace it. There,
Yeah. Because what you resist persists. And in my 16-month journey, I was resisting. I was like, why is this like this? Why? And it just got darker and darker as I was resisting and I wasn't surrendering. And my friend was like, just surrender already. Like, what's your problem? I'm like, I'm trying. And I just was like in my thing and I just couldn't quite, I don't know. And then it just lifted, I think, and I started really getting help and support, and I'd done enough excavation where I was ready to really start to lift out of it. And then spirit, it was literally a miracle what I've been through, and that I was lifted out of it. And there's no one here that can say that there's anything that you can't face, because you're only given what you can handle. And when you're given huge challenges, what they say, especially the ones you cannot see your way out of, the ones that are like, what, we just got a lawsuit, like what, or something gigantic that, like, what, how are we gonna
Go figure.
manage this? Like, you just, there's lawyers, there's like acrimony. The situations where you cannot find your way out, where it's like, you're like, oh, no way, I can't escape this, is means you have hugeness of light on the other side.
Mm.
So when I kept hearing this from healers, and I'm like, who cares? Because I cannot find my way out of this. And I went to so many healers, and they're like, oh, you have so much coming in on the other side. It's huge. And I'm like, well, great, but I can't even find my way out. Like, that's
Yeah.
like, who cares? Like, there's a great sale in like, on my favorite clothes in a month. Like, who cares? They're free? Oh, well, great. Well, who knows if I'll even be here? So, I didn't understand the truth of that until now, until what I am on the other side. I have some perspective, and I can see what spirit gives you. Like, can you handle this? Can you move through it so you can get your gift? It's kind
Mm.
of back to when my first job from spirit, like, you have to do it and then you get your gift. You have to go through it
Yeah,
first.
this job was harder than the putting petals on the river.
Oh, yeah. They don't give you they give you, they kind of, for me, they kind of walked me slowly up into it. I didn't know. I mean, I know this was on my chart. I was going to have to face stuff I hadn't dealt with in some past lives. I don't know if any of you believe in past lives, but I've literally gone back to them. So they're real for me. And I had really blown off some really tough stuff that happened in the temples. I ran many temples in Babylon and in Egypt and in Avalon in Glastonbury, and I had ran the temple, and some stuff went down. And when it was on my watch, I took it personally, and I couldn't forgive myself, and I couldn't let it go until this life. And so it's like time to let it go. So whatever you're holding on to, that's that limiting belief, or that lack of, or and I'm not good enough, or that weighing you down and you're not sharing your soul gifts, is it's time to let it go. And whatever you can do to get some support so you can let that weight off and let it dissolve, because it's not going to help you share your magic and your wisdom and your mastery for this new golden age. We need everybody on deck. The dark
Mm.
hasn't finished. They're holding on with their fingernails, but they are trying to not make this the next golden age. But that's what the destiny is that this is the new golden age, and we are the way showers of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm very aware of the escalation of the dark right now. And
Oh yeah, do you have chemtrails too and all like the fun stuff? Like, this is part of it. Hawaii, I had none of this.
no, for me, it's all about genocide and authoritarianism.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah. And we're getting toward the end of 30 minutes. You can stay for Q&A if you want, and share about your free gift that you're offering people.
Oh, I'd be excited to. Join us for Luminous, the free masterclass activation. It's live and it starts December 5th, which is in 2 days. And it's all about what I've been guided with my dark journey, is that how do you step into your luminous self and embody your highest destiny? Well, I just kind of illuminated a little bit of the breakthrough method of when you have tests and challenges and what those mean on your life path. But there's more in NLP, and I've worked with some
Neurolinguistic
amazing healers and teachers. Yeah, we'll be doing NLP, a lot in the subconscious, and then Yeshua is coming in for us for a light code activation for healing in the Golden Temple, the Golden Pyramid healing code activation. So there's 3-part series, and it starts December 5th. And join me, and it's free.
And
And
can you confirm that the link we just put in the chat is the one you meant? Because the name is slightly different.
yeah, it's masterclass activation free, I think is yeah. And so join us, and it's free, and you can immerse in these codes and these ways of being that are from ancient wisdoms and also from the subconscious. Like, we're going to go right to the root. I don't mess around. And because it's like we don't have time, I want you to unlock your gifts and anything that's holding you back so you can step into your highest light and unlock your greatness.
Amazing. Okay. Somebody said she can't access the gift. So two people said they can't access the gift. So
I
we will
see.
get that. Do you want to work that out right now? Or
I
what do you
can't
want?
highlight it, but I have it here in my, let me pull mine up and I can put it. Yeah, you definitely want to. Sometimes links get weird, you know? They all have, let me,
Okay, we got it. People can't access the link. Jennifer's giving us a new link. Three people, we're clear. We're clear that it's the link.
okay. Okay, I want to be not direct message. I only have direct message with you.
You should, okay, well, if you direct message to me, I can send it to everyone.
Okay.
You haven't
This
gotten
is
it.
the link that is live and we're using.
Okay,
So maybe just something got removed from it. So let me see.
something got added.
I can't, it
Not the
doesn't,
same link, but we added this one. Will the people who had trouble, Nicole, Sarita, Shannon, will you click on this link and confirm that it works? It worked for Shannon. We're going to declare that it
okay.
worked.
So
Um,
just pause and what a pleasure. Wow, the link didn't work. Great. Okay. So I have
yeah.
some really great stuff happening when that happens. Like even me waiting for you today, which and not having a link, which I was like, okay, it's 11:17, 11:18, I have no link. And I was like, what a pleasure. I get to listen to this beautiful man talk about Buddhism is when I came in and I got to listen to all this beauty and about detaching and and I just thought, how beautiful is that? So, you know, it's part of it. You can't be different in front of your community than you are in your real life. So it's kind of about you have to be messy and share your mess. That was a new thing for me. I wanted to be polished and glossy and I have my shit together and I'm the youngest in my family, so I'm like I have it all together. I need to have it all together. And you know what? I I'm learning how to share my mess. It's not been the easiest for me, but I really get the vulnerability is such a connects us that we are all trying to figure all of this out and we don't have all the answers.
I just remembered the other thing I wanted to take responsibility for earlier was we knew you were coming sometime. You've been in communication, and I panicked. I was like, "Oh my God, it's 2:17, it's 2:18. We have to do something," rather than just being what was there. And
Ah,
and that's a
well,
lesson for me.
that's really beautiful. Thank you for being so honest and sharing because that's a beautiful lesson is really being able to calm yourself so that the anxiety isn't the first like going for that instant gratification, like that wine glass, of anxiety or that, oh, I'm going to just push this in because there was pain happening in your body and you're like, oh no, and this came from something deeper in your past. And so
Mhm.
it's just, and it will continue to flare up until you go back to the root.
Mm,
That's what I've noticed in my life.
I get
And then it
that.
all comes, it's like a pearl necklace, and you go to the root, and then all the other millions of events that came from that, they just,
Well,
the, the thread comes out and the pearls just all fall. And it doesn't have that sway over us anymore. So
thanks.
that's what I've
So
noticed.
Jennifer, I know we started late. So um, do you need to go? Do you have a couple minutes for
I'd
Q&A?
love, there's some beautiful comments in here. I have a couple minutes for questions. Um, I love it. Sarita Burns, I believe in it, and also naming that it is outside my comfort zone.
That
Um,
was about past lives. She's
yeah, be visible with our
believed in them,
message to
but to
them.
say it out loud is a stretch. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And also,
does anyone have any questions? Is that kind of what?
and I'll also read the other comments in the chat. Beautiful, each moment is our teacher. Who's ready? People said for the new age. Several people said they're ready. Interplay of free will and spiritual. Be visible with our message, which for somebody might be about getting on an online platform. The quote, the solution is on a different level than the problem. And then we've got,
Let me answer Sarita's question. I'm not interested in past life regression. Is the master class also good if you're not? It is not about past life regression. It's about your life right now. And I'm not a past life regressionist. I just have gone back to some of my past lives. But no, this is about we're going to be using NLP, subconscious abilities, and then light code. I'm a light code activator. I am a transformational channel, and I am the soul code activator. So I hold space that activates light codes, which are not DNA. They're the space within you, which is 99% air, like the plant, like the cosmos is 99% nothingness, is filled with light particles that are from the stars that are hold your codes. And we all have dormant light codes until we go into a higher frequency container. The light goes like, oh, like love affinity again. Oh, I match that. I can turn on. As you move into higher circles of frequency, your light codes start to turn on. And then you start to sing all of a sudden, or you have a knowing, or I can't be in this relationship. It's just not for me. Like all of a sudden you shift and you move into a new level, or it can be very subtle. You're just more aware, more open, or more flowing in your life. There's so many ways. And so this is activating your light codes and activating your luminous self.
yeah, I'm gonna answer the question about NLP, and you can add anything I leave out. So NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. It's a form, some people consider it self-hypnosis, but it's a fully conscious form where you become aware of patterns and you change them. Whether like the tools that I've done is like, if you're anxious, do you feel like your feeling is spinning forwards? Well, what if you spun backwards? Would you feel calm? Or actually, this guy who invented neurolinguistic programming was like, schizophrenics, when they hear about something not real, they believe it. Non-schizophrenics, when they hear about it, they see it in a box. So he taught schizophrenics to put certain parts of reality in a box visually. Also, he said, if you ever want to get out of an abusive relationship, just remember every time you've been upset at someone in a row, because he interviewed all his friends, his middle-aged male friends would say, my wife left me and there was nothing new that I'd done. And he would go and ask the wife, what happened? She was like, yeah, no, it was nothing new. It was just all in a row, all in a row. And he's like, well, if you actually want to leave somebody, just mentally make it all in a row. So it's like taking what our minds do anyway and doing it by choice. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Jennifer.
Yeah, what I have learned with NLP is that we have things we've learned from, especially from 0 to 7, your imprint years. And then in the womb, I realized there's a lot I absorbed from I'm adopted, my birth mother. It was illegal to have abortions when I was born. It's not that long ago, ladies. It's
It
like,
was illegal in it was illegal in Connecticut when I was born, but not in
yeah.
California. So my mother had to make up her mind quickly because she was
I
moving to
know. Is
California to
that
get my
just so? My mother was single, and I have visioned that my birth father was a married dentist. Yeah, back to the dentist thing again. And when he heard that she was pregnant, he just dropped her, and everyone shamed her, her own mother. And so I felt all this in the womb. So what I get from NLP and what my work I've done with it is that I had to go back to the womb and heal some things. And then, like, the pearl string just dropped, like all this anxiety and not being able to regulate my emotions. I thought everyone white knuckled it through life. I didn't know people. I saw people who are calmer, but I'm like, they're just like, it's just their Pandora's box. They just got the lid on really good. Like they can just hide it. They weren't hiding it, but I thought I had to keep my lid on because I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. And because I didn't learn it in my birth mother, she took me home for 6 months and then gave me up at 6 months. So my whole family's adopted, and I see the difference in my brother and sister who were given up right away and they didn't bond. So I have that self-esteem, but I learned all this deregulation of emotions, and I didn't know that was a thing, and I never got help or therapy for it as a little girl, and I just white knuckled it for like 4 decades. until it all exploded recently and I couldn't get my Pandora's box lid on anymore and it exploded.
Okay. Thank you. Did somebody, Jess, did you have a question? Because when I said, does anybody have a question? You said yes, but it doesn't mean that that's what it was in response to. Or does anybody have a question?
Jess has a question.
Okay.
I'm really excited to meet you, Jennifer. So much of what you said resonates with me. I've been called to heal right now, and I struggle to relax into that trust my gifts and codes are on the way. Any advice or any insight how to stay patient? Well, Jess, I would invite you, whatever you are visioning, definitely journal it, put it into physical matter. And it's not a question of it's coming. It's just, it's on its way. When we don't know, but it's like it's not here because there probably are some things you need to heal and clear before those can fully come in, maybe a self-worth or a not wanting to be visible. And so it's like taking that really deep inventory of yourself and just being patient because like that vision I had is not here right now, but I know I've committed to this highest destiny. So whatever I invite you is to recommit to your highest destiny. So you're telling the universe, I am an open and available channel. And I'm here for you and I'm here for my codes and my gifts to be within me and to share them with the world. Have a business around it, maybe have a website around it, have a practice around it, whatever it makes you just feel with joy. And whatever that looks like for you. You can create your own life exact, doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Or you just want to do it for your family and you don't want to do it as a business. Whatever makes you feel with joy is just is that, and also get around like-minded people who are walking in this direction so you can be with light leaders and change makers and way showers and be with them. So because it can be bumpy, this world. I didn't know what I was heading into. It was, you have to really work on yourself more than anything. If you want to be a transformational coach or leader, you have to transform yourself more than anyone else in your practice or your business. So just be patient and be with and come and join us in our community and be in a community of light where people love you and find that wherever you find that and that you can share and get advice and be with like-minded souls who are all walking this journey together. I hope that helps in any way.
Hmm. 1 second.
And we're meeting on Thursday, Jess, Saturday. Saturday, I'm doing an event at my house, a circle, because I love calling in the local beloveds. So if you're in San Diego, California, come and join us. But Thursday is the online Luminous, December 5th.
So it might overlap with the show. I don't know. What time is it at, Jennifer?
It is at noon Pacific time.
Yep. So that will overlap. And they're both, well, mine's recorded. And yours is recorded.
They're all
Um,
recorded.
they'll both be recorded, so you get to choose. This is very wonderful, Jennifer.
Thank
Your
you so
presence is very
much, Alex.
special. I thought, oh, Nicole's having trouble with the link.
It's working.
Um, and um,
Hmm.
and I got a lot of feeling for myself, like both thinking about actually the two things that really stood out for me are the, expanding from 60 watts to 6,000 watts. And related, the addictive behaviors. Mine is mostly social media and novels. Um, and yeah, going back and healing my little fetal self sounds great. I do want to be responsible that I just sort of, stuck in as an aside the issue that my mother considered having an abortion when she was pregnant with me, and she chose
Mm.
not to, and I'm here. And and it worked in the long run, and there were a lot of hiccups for everybody in the short run. So
Aren't there? It's like it's not this direct path. It's this loopy, squirrely, oh my gosh, back to start over. Yeah, especially in the spiritual path is but then it's finding a system that works. And I invite you to really look at your tests and challenges because they're just trying to prepare you for your highest destiny and to look at them with love and with, pause and what a pleasure. I have huge things coming because I just got a parking ticket and that sucks. And you know what? I have huge things coming because I just have to pay, $75 now. So, and what a pleasure. Thank you for this.
Everything is for me. Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I really got that. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer, and for all of this. I assume so we can stop recording. Suppose I can stop recording.